What's going on, everybody? It's your boy White Trash Trucker, and I'm coming at you all today with another fresh to death White Trash Trucker video. If you like this White Trash Trucker content, please like, share, and of course subscribe. Now, the title of today's video is my experience working over at SCHNEIDER National, or my review of SCHNEIDER National. I just put out a video about my experience over here at Night Transportation. I wanted to go ahead and do a review of my time over at SCHNEIDER. Now, SCHNEIDER was the second company that I ended up working at. White Trash Trucker was working at. I was working at Western Express, and basically after 6-7 months there, my teammate found another job where he could be home more. Decided he was going to go ahead and move on, and so I was kind of faced with a dilemma. And I was like, you know, I could either continue on at Western Express as a solo driver, which would be a significant cut in pay. I mean, I think I was getting paid 46 cents a mile at Western Express as a team driver, and then it was 34 cents a mile as a solo driver. So it's like, this is a pretty big dip in pay. And I ended up going to SCHNEIDER National because they were a little bit bigger company than Western Express. They also had a $10,000 sign-on bonus at the time, and they had a team match program where they would match you up, try and find you a teammate to run with. Now, when I started off over at SCHNEIDER National as a team driver, I actually took a little bit of a pay cut. I was at 46 cents a mile at Western Express, and I ended up going down to 43 cents a mile over at SCHNEIDER. But, you know, I was still cool with that because at the time, you know, getting started in trucking, I really only was interested in doing team driving my rookie year, because the money on the solo side, at least at that time, to me just didn't even seem worth it to be out here running for 35 or 36 cents a mile. I really felt like, yo, I need to get at least into the 40 cents a mile. And with the SCHNEIDER, with the $10,000 sign-on bonus, this shit just made sense. Now, it was pretty easy to get on at SCHNEIDER National. It was like most of these companies out here, as long as you're not, you know, you don't have any type of serious situations in the recent past, then they bring you right in. So it was a pretty easy recruiting process. And then after that, orientation was pretty easy. I'm out of Charlotte, North Carolina, but I ended up onboarding in Memphis, Tennessee. I can't exactly remember why I decided to onboard at the Memphis terminal, but I ended up doing that. They put me in an okay hotel, the Days Inn in West Memphis. The hotel could be a little bit better, you know what I mean? But I guess coming in as a new driver, my thing is the hotel was okay. One of the problems I have with SCHNEIDER and any of these companies is like, any of these companies, is just the fact that, you know, I think they should give you a room to your own, you know, especially if you have any experience at all. I understand if you're coming in as like a complete rookie, you need to be trained. They don't know if they can make any money off of you at all. In that sense, they're kind of doing a favor by just taking you on, period. But if you have experience, even say just 3 months, then I think they should give you your own room. So I didn't particularly like that. But the hotel was okay, and my roommate turned it out to be okay. Like I said, it's the Days Inn in West Memphis, and it's actually right next to the Southlands Gaming Casino. So if you onboard over there with SCHNEIDER, well, right now at the time I'm filming this, it's coronavirus going on, but can hang out at the casino. They got some good places to eat over there. But the orientation was pretty simple, pretty straightforward. To be honest, let me take that back. This shit was kind of actually annoying now that I'm talking about it, because I remember that they had to do a lot of bookwork, and also they wanted you to do a lot of modules online. One of the things about SCHNEIDER I'm going to get into is their safety policy. But overall, it was simple. It was a little bit more work than the Western Express orientation or the night orientation. It was a little bit more annoying orientation, to be honest with you. It wasn't as laid back as it is over here at night or at Western Express. And this is another big thing with SCHNEIDER National. So I ended up basically getting to orientation. It wasn't difficult, but kind of annoying. And then I had, they ended up matching me up with a team partner. Now, I could go on and on about my experiences with the different teammates that I had over at SCHNEIDER, but that's not really what this video is about. I'm just trying to give you the bread and butter about what's going on over here. I ended up finding a teammate. Took a couple tries, but I ended up finding one. And although it was kind of annoying to find a teammate, the fact that they were willing, they did not expect you to just stick with the teammate if it wasn't working out. And I appreciate that. Like, you know, the first teammate, I was like, nah. And the second teammate, the same thing, nah. And they did not complain or like, oh, you know, we don't want you to do this or that. Like, you know what I mean? You know, they didn't try and make you stick with them. They were fine with you just moving on to another teammate. So it was the third teammate I found, and we ended up, you know, getting along pretty well. Now, like I said, my experience was running team over there. This was running 43 cents a mile, $10,000 sign-on bonus. And as far as like the work over there, you know, the runs were pretty decent for a team. We did have some pretty good team runs, fairly consistent. Not as consistent as I would like, but pretty consistent. You know, I mean, it was a lot of runs that were 2,500 miles, which is really what I want. I wanted to run East Coast, West Coast. I want to run long miles. That's really what I wanted to do. That's really what I wanted to do. And largely, I did get to do that. And for all of those you all who are interested in doing team, I highly suggest maybe adopting the schedule that me and my teammate had at the time, which is basically we split up the 24-hour day into 2 shifts. I would run like 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would run from 3 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But we would our agreement was to run 8 hours on the drive line every day. And so we could usually get that in 7-8 hours. So he would usually start like around 6 o'clock in the morning, although he could start as early as 3, and he would be done by 3. He'd pretty much have to run straight through the end of his shift. And then I would take over immediately at 3, and I would usually be done by 12, 1 o'clock at night. So I didn't have to run really late, and he didn't have to run really early, and the truck kind of shut down there for about 4 to 6 hours a night. And so I really, you know, and that's pretty easy to get. You know, 5 to 50. It's easy to get 5,000 to 5,500 miles doing that. It's not, if you're doing 800 miles a day, 8 times 6 or 8 times 7. Yeah, I mean, you can get 6,000 miles a week doing that. You can get a good paycheck and not kill yourself and have a little bit of a balance, if you want to call it that. A little bit of a balance running in that team situation. And most of my paychecks over there, you know, I would say the average paycheck over there was probably about $850. That's what I would say at that time. Running at 43 cents a mile, I would take home about $850 to $900 a week. That was really it. I had some weeks where I made over $1,000, but that's really it. And I would say we averaged right around $5,000 to $5,500 a week. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we averaged. And so, for the most part, you know, the lanes were good, and the pay was okay, and like I said, they work with you on getting a teammate. And so, as far as like on this side of things, it wasn't a bad experience. Working over at Schneider, you know, was not bad. You know, there's just a lot that, now that I work at night and I have more experience, and that, you know, I look for more in a company that I feel like could be better. One of the things I didn't like is that I did feel like somewhat of a number over there. Yes, I did get along with my dispatcher all right, but just basically they didn't really care where you wanted to run for the most part. You know, they just, you know, the driver manager had a lot of drivers, and I mean, you kind of feel like a number over there. And I felt like that as an owner-operator. I'm not going to get into that. But I did, for some reason, I just didn't care for the Schneider atmosphere. I didn't care for it. I just didn't care for the relationship between the drivers and the staff. You know what I mean? It just wasn't nothing special. It was just, you know, you're driving a freight, and I mean, that's fine and all. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it was nothing special. I think it could be a little bit better. I'm trying to think what else. And the big thing that was really annoying was the safety policy. The safety policy over there is just, first off, you can't talk on your headset. You know, you can't talk on your headset. They're really strict about wearing vests in the yard, wearing boots. You know, and they have like all this, you know, safety gear on the truck, which I can understand, especially running team. You know, they had all this lane monitoring, and I mean, all of these buzzers and sounds and horns. But I will be honest with you, that stuff really makes you a lazy driver, because you can pretty much drive down the road, you know, with your eyes closed and keep it in the lane because of all the sensors. So it really makes you a lazy driver. It doesn't make you a better, more alert or aware driver. You just end up relying on the technology more, and you ended up being more distracted by you know, geez, your phone or just whatever. You don't really have to pay attention as much because, I mean, you have, as soon as you go right or left, I mean, it's just going off. I mean, same thing. I mean, they got all these buzzers going up front. So they have just had so much safety stuff. It's kind of annoying. And then on top of that, let me see. It was just hard to get the safety bonus. You know, they were always, you know, it was hard for me at that time to really control my speeding. You know, they didn't like that. Hard braking. You know, the parameters in order to get this safety bonus was just like, it seemed at the time to be a lot. And so I didn't particularly care. Didn't particularly care for that. Qualcomm system was okay. Some things that I liked over there at Schneider National is they did have a lot of good terminal locations. I felt like almost as many as Night. Night has more, but they have quite a few, and they have them in good locations. And you know, the terminals themselves, they all have cafeterias in them, so that's good. And they usually have plenty of showers, so you can get food a lot of times at these cafeterias, and you can get showers. They have a car for you to use to get around also at these terminals. So they also have laundry a lot of times at these terminals, and some of them even have a workout area. So the terminals themselves are really not that bad. And the terminals themselves are pretty good, and they have them in a lot of good locations. A lot of the freight is drop and hook. And honestly, that's really it. Schneider is, to me, just a real... It's not a bad company. It's not a great company. It's really a down-the-middle fucking company. Like, I can't really say... There's some things that I found annoying, like with all the safety policy and stuff. I can't say anything bad about them. I just can't say anything like, oh, wow, you know, I really like the atmosphere. The pay's a little bit better here. I guess they do offer quite a bit of sign-on bonuses a lot of times. So I guess, you know, that's, you know, I guess that's good. But, you know, it's just really a down-the-middle company. As far as me advising people, if you want to go to Schneider, you know, I would not say, you know, don't go. It'd just be hard. You know, I'd probably say, well, you know, check out a few other companies maybe before. It's not a bad company. It's just nothing special. It's really a down-the-middle company. Perhaps if they're giving you the $10,000 sign-on bonus, I say, hey, just go and get to, you know, grab the $10,000 sign-on bonus, you know. Just go ahead and grab that, and yeah, that's it. I mean, there's not really much to it. A lot of guys do start over there at Schneider, and then they try and get into the lease program, which the lease and owner-operator program is considered one of the better programs out here, from what I understand. And I did the lease owner-op thing, or I did the owner-operator program over there, so there is room to grow into being an owner-operator over there. But, yeah, it's really just a down-the-middle, like, company. It's nothing bad. It's nothing great. It's just a job. That's really it over there, Schneider. And so, you know, I don't know if this review finds you well. If you're interested in going to Schneider, if you have any more questions or anything like that, you know, go ahead and shoot me a comment below. I hope this video finds you well. Peace.